Welcome to Live DAF, your online DAF Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem, welcome back to today's DAF, Hayomi Maseches KIDDUSHIN DAF Zayin. We are on the last line of Vav Amud Beis. So, how does one typically make a KIDDUSHIN? The Ish gives the Isha a coin, a ring, Harayat Mekudeshesli, right? What if she never got anything? Can she become Mekudeshes? Sometimes yes. Amar Rava, listen to this interesting case. An Isha instructs the Ish as follows. Tein mana leploni. Instead of giving the money to me, give it to the other fellow. Right? So she approaches Reuven and says, instead of handing me the coin for my Kiddushin to you, hand the coin to Shimon. Tein mana leploni. Ve'ekadesh lecha, and I'll become Mekudesh to you, I'll become your wife. Does that work? So Reuven spent money on her, but she never actually received it. She delegated it to Shimon. Mikudeshes midin arev. It works. Malotov. Based on what? She never received anything. Midin arev. It's based on the concept of an arev, of a cosigner, of a guarantor. Right? You guarantee a loan. On what basis are you committed to compensating that lender? If in fact the borrower defaults on the loan, why are you chayiv to pay? Did you get anything? I got the money, he got it. The borrower took the money, I didn't take it. So why am I, as an arev, obligated to keep my arevus commitment? And Rashi points out, the concept of being an arev, of being a guarantor, of backing up a loan, and being committed to that obligation, to that commitment, is based on the pasuk in the Torah. Why, by Yehuda, when he told the Yaakov Avinu, please send the Binyamin along, Anoichi ervenu, I'm going to be the arev. I'm guaranteeing it. And that's a commitment. How does that work? Did I get any money from you? Why am I obligated to back up that loan, to guarantee the loan? Arev. So just like by the Arev, Lav af agav deloi mati hanali, even though the Arev never actually receives any direct benefit from the Malveh, Kol Meshabed Nafshe, he's still committing himself. Why? So he didn't actually get anything tangible, but he does get some satisfaction. The fact is, look, you trusted me. Why did you lend him that money? Because you value my word. Right? So you gave him that money based on my instruction? That gives me tremendous hana. That gives me satisfaction. And in exchange for that satisfaction, I am actually committing to back up that loan. The same thing with the Isha in our story. Even though she didn't actually receive anything tangibly from her husband, from her future husband, she's still mishabed and gives herself over and is becoming mekudesh to this fellow Reuven because he actually spent money upon her instructions. That provides her with that element of satisfaction, which is sufficient to make for this obligation on her part. So again, the Ish instructs the Ish to hand the money over to another person, and in exchange for that, she will become a Kiddush to the giver, to Reuven. It works. Based on the Arev factor. You could be mishabed yourself, you could commit yourself. You could submit yourself to a commitment, despite never having actually received something tangible in your hands. Here comes another case. Can you be Mekadesh Isha without actually spending anything? Can you get something for free? Yep. That too can work. So Reuben is approaching Rachel wants to be Mekadosh her, and she says, look, Heilach Mana. So Shimon wants to be Mekadosh Rachel, and Reuben is now the one spending the money. He approaches Rachel and he says, Heilach Mana, look, take this coin, and become Mekadosh to my friend Shimon. And of course, as Rashi says, he was appointed as Shliach. He's representing Shimon. You can't just, do him this favor without him knowing. He has to know about it. So he appointed Reuven as a Shliach. Be my Shliach, be Mekadosh Rachel. You know what? Spend the money for me too. Mikudeshes. It can work. So Shimon is now the new husband, Mazel Tov, even though he didn't spend a penny. How does this work? Who says you can get without giving? Midin Evet Knani. This is based on the halacha that you can redeem an Evet Knani in this same manner, in a similar fashion. You know, the Evet Knani has no money on his own. So how does this non-Jewish slave become Mishuchar? How does he go free? How does he get redeemed if he has no money? So we'll see later in the Chav Beis that others who are generous people can go and approach the slave master and offer him some money on condition that the Eved goes free. So basically, and it works, and the Eved is going to obtain his freedom despite the fact that he didn't spend a dime on it. Nothing. Right? So that's the precept which this halacha is based on. You can get without giving. Midin Evet Knani. Evet Knani, just like by the Evet Knani. Even though he didn't spend a penny. He didn't lose anything. Kokani Nafshe, he can acquire himself, he can go free. He can receive without having paid. The same thing with this lucky fellow Shimon. Even though he didn't spend a red penny. Nothing. Kokani Lalai, it's so he can acquire the Isha because Reuben, his friend, laid it out for him, paid the money for him. So we have Ori, we have Evet Knani, well-known concepts, which will provide basis for these two interesting variations of Kiddushin. In the first case, the Isha gives herself away, so to speak. She's Mekadosh herself, despite not having received anything personally. In the second case, Shimon, the new husband, receives the Isha despite not having spent anything on her. Now we have a combo situation. What about not paying and not receiving? Tein mana leplane. Isn't it a third case? So Rachel approaches Reuven and it says like this: Tein mana leplane, please hand your coin to Shimon. Okay? And I'll become Shimon's wife. So here we have two things that are sort of not standard, not typical. First of all, Shimon, the new husband, the potential husband, hasn't spent anything. But on top of that, we have the Isha, who typically gets something in exchange for Kiddushin. In this case, she got nothing. Actually, Shimon, the new husband, got everything. He got the Isha and the money. Does that work? Yeah. We combine both above mentioned factors to create this new breed of Kiddushin, which works. So again, Teiman Leplani, Rachel instructs Reuven to give money to Shimon. I'll become Shimon's wife. Mekudeshes, she becomes Mekudeshes, and Shimon is the new husband. Midin Shneim. It's based on the fact that we combine both above mentioned concepts. Number one, the Arev, who gives, who provides, without really getting anything in return. Even though the Arev didn't get any money, he didn't get any tangible benefit. He's still willing to commit himself. Likewise, this woman, even though she didn't take possession of this ring, she got nothing. She's still giving herself over to Shimon. So sometimes you can give without getting. Well, 1 second. It's not fully compatible with Arev. Because mi dummy, how do you compare the two? Arev. Even in the case of the Arev, true, he gives without getting, but the person on the other side, which is the bank, right, the one lending the money, Haik the Kokani lay, the one who's acquiring the Arev, basically the one who's getting that Arev's commitment, who's benefiting from the Arev's obligation, spending money. So the bank, it's fair, the bank's spending money to get that commitment. As opposed to this fellow Shimon, in our case, Hi Gavro, so he has everything going for him. He gets the Isha as a wife. He didn't spend a red penny. He didn't spend anything. Who says that works? Who says you can, I understand you can give without getting, but who says you can get without giving? That's why we need to go to Eved Kanani, which provided that precedent. Eved Kanani Yechiach will prove that point from the Eved Kanani. That's going to be the precedent that you can receive without giving, just like the Eved Kanani does. The loika chazar money, he hadn't spent any money. He's kohen himself. Same thing here. Shimon will get the Isha despite not spending any money on her. Well, midami again, it's not really a straight comparison. Hasam hachtika makni. Kakani. But take a closer look at the Eved Kanani situation. Who's giving away the Eved? Who's being makne? The master. Kakani. So instead of the Eved, he's getting money. There is some receiving of money in exchange for the Eved. So true, the Eved is benefiting without spending, but the Adin who's sending him off, who's giving him away, is getting something in return, he's getting the money. As opposed to our case where the Isha is giving herself away. It's a one-way deal. She's giving away without getting anything. She isn't getting a penny. So it says it can work. Well, that's why we have to go back to the Arev. Go back and forth. Arev Yechiach, Arev will prove that point to us. Because there, the Arev is giving himself away free of charge. Even though he didn't get anything in return, he's willing to give himself away, to obligate himself to serve as a guarantor for this loan. So basically, if we combine Arev with Eved Kanani, we'll come up with this third creature, this hybrid, so to speak, this third case, which contains in it both elements. It's a combined Arev Eved Kanani concept, and it works as well. So let's just summarize. We have Arev, we have Eved Kanani, we have that combo situation. From Arev we learned that you can give without getting. And that's why in the first case, where the Isha instructed the husband to give the money to the other fellow, and that will make her mekudesh to the first person, the person who gave, right, the money. So let's use names, right? So Rachel tells Reuven, who wants to marry her, give the money, instead of me, give it to Shimon, and I'll be your wife. So even though she's not getting anything from Reuven, like the Arev is Meshaved himself, likewise, she's Mekadesh herself. Case B. Reuven approaches Rachel, here, take the coin, and you become Shimon's wife. It works. So Shimon gets her despite not having spent on her. That's the Eved Kanani concept. He goes free without spending. In the third case we had, Rachel tells Reuven, give the money to Shimon and I'll become Shimon's wife. So we have to utilize both concepts and combine them. On the one hand, Rachel is not getting anything and she's giving herself away to Shimon. That's the Arev concept. And the Eved Kanani concept allows us to allow Shimon to get the Isha despite not having spent on her. Just like the Eved goes free without it costing him anything. Continues the Gemara. By Rava. Rava had a shayla. What about the following case? Helech mana ve'kadish ani loch. Okay, the Isha approaches the man. He'll take a coin, and I'll become your wife. Mahu. Does it work or not? So the Gemara at this point figured. So let's just see the answer. Amar mazutim shmei derapav mekudesh, as it works. So the Gemara at this point figured, how does it work? Because when he takes possession of that coin, let's call it kinyan meshicha, takes possession, right? So he drags along, so to speak, the isha. He's doing one ma'aseh kinyan on the money, and on account of that, the isha comes along as well. But imkain, if that's the way it's working, havele nechasam sheyesh la machrayis, which means possessions which are secure, like real estate, yesh la machrayis. You can't run away with your karka. The creditor can always find your property. That's why it's called nechasam sheyesh la machrayis. And Rashi says an adam, a person is connected conceptually to karka. We have a pasuk, so let's classify him as nechasam sheyesh la machrayis, as a din of karka. So he's getting the isha together with the money. Niknin im nechasam she'en la machrayis. Money is ein la machrayis because it's mobile, it's movable, it can just disappear. So the kinyan meshicha done on the coin will extend to the isha, even though the kinyan is done on the coin. By extension, it includes the isha as well. Well, actually, it's contrary to the accepted norms. Va'anan ifcha tanan. We have a mishnah that goes the other way. Metalton come along with a kinyan karka, but not the other way. Nechasim she'ein la machrayis, like items, like cars, etc. Niknin im nechasim she'ein la machrayis. If you buy a house, the car comes along with it, if he's okay with it, right? As long as you do the proper kinyan on the house. Bekesef, right? You give him money, b'shtar, a document, b'chazaka, you take possession, or you live in the house, you fix it up, whatever, right? So bottom line is, it's meant to go the other way. Items come along with solid, possessions, but not the other way around. People don't come along with coins. So how does this work? By accepting her coin, you're getting her as well? Amr Leis, he says, no. It's an incorrect interpretation of this halacha. Mi savers the Amr Leis. Agav, do you think that what happened was that she intended on giving herself away to the potential husband using kinyan agav, which is this process we just described, that one comes along with the other? No. We're speaking about a very prominent person. This future husband was a very chashuv person who never accepts gift. That's his custom. He doesn't accept gifts. And it's a big honor for him to accept your gift. And when he's willing to accept her coin, that gives her tremendous satisfaction. That boosts her, self-value. The baya no. The kamakal autonomy no. This is hana, this benefit, this enjoyment, this satisfaction that she has. The very fact that he's accepting her gift, that's worth money. Right? She would easily pay somebody a pruta to convince this fellow to accept her gift. It's a tremendous honor for her that he accepts her gift. Gomer meklein nafsha, in exchange for that benefit, for that hana, for that satisfaction, she gives herself away. It's like she got something from him. So that's the twist of this halach. You can actually give something to the husband, and you're really getting. Something's giving is getting. That satisfaction that she's attaining by him willing to accept her gift is a gift to her. And that's like kesef of KIDDUSHIN. Itmar nami mishmei de Rav. So we learned about 4 different types of, interesting variations of KIDDUSHIN, which all work. Itmar nami mishmei de Rav. And likewise, we learned in the name of Rav, v'chein inim amayna. All these concepts work regarding ordinary transactions as well. Let's say you buy a field. Instead of giving money to the seller, you do this whole arrangement, arev evet kanani, a combination. It works. Let's take a look at the Rashi here. It goes through all the variations. So it's about 5-6 lines up. V'chen linyan amayna hanach shmatza de Rav dialfinan KIDDUSHIN min den arev min evet kanani. All these variations of KIDDUSHIN, the arev concept, the evet kanani concept, kain linyan amayna. It works in real estate as well. For instance, machalei sada. So Reuben's about to sell Shimon a field. V'amalei tells him, you know what? Instead of giving me the money, tein hakesef leploni. Give it to Shimon. V'sadi mechur lach. And to your field. I'm selling it to you. Kana midin arev. That works because of the arev concept. Heilach mana v'tei sadcha mechur leploni. Or the other way. Shimon approaches Reuben And he says, here is the money for the field, and the field will now belong to the other fellow, to Levi. So Levi gets the field, like an Eved Kanani gets freedom without spending money. And the third case as well, that combination case. So Reuven tells Shimei, take $1 million, give it to Levi, and through that, this field of mine will be Levi's. It works because of that Eved, Ivri, and Arev combination. Continues the Gemara. So Rava taught us that it works by Kiddushin and it works by Mechira. Utzricha, why are both necessary? Once we know one, don't we already know the other one? If it's a form of giving money, a form of paying. It can work anywhere. That requires payment. Utzricha, yeah, each one is a Chiddush. The Yashmin and Kiddushin. If we only discussed it by Kiddushin, I would say, you know what? It's not really it's not really a proper form of payment, but Mishum a woman is willing to marry even in exchange for this sort of pseudo payment. It takes very little to marry off a woman. Rish Lakish, as Rish Lakish tells us, Rish Lakish, Tav lemesav, it's better to sit, to dwell, to live, tan, bodies, to have company in life. Milu mesav armlu, rather than sitting yourself alone. So she'll take anything to marry. When it comes to a real estate deal, maybe this type of payment doesn't work. You need real money, real payment. If we only discuss the mamain aspect, real estate, because after all, a person could just be meichel, payment for his field. It's up to him. So if he's willing to submit himself to this type of arrangement, good for him. It's up to him. But when it comes to marrying an isha, the pasuk says you have to give kesef. Maybe this sort of deal doesn't work unless she actually gets his ring. That's why Rabbi needs to teach it to us in both texts. It works by kiddushin and it works by real estate. Continues the Gemara. Amar Rab, another halacha in the name of Rab. He tells the isha, "Hiskachili lechetzi." You're mekudesh to half of myself. Mekudesh is it works. But if he says chetziech mekudeshes li, half of you women are mekudesh to me, and mekudeshes, there it doesn't work. Amar Ali Abaye, what's the difference? What is the difference? Amar Ali Abaye Rab. Ma'ishna chetziech mekudeshes li, and mekudeshes. Why in the second case doesn't it work? Isha Amar Rachmana. Pasuk says you'll marry an isha. V'lo chatzi isha, not a half a isha. It doesn't work. Hachanami, same with the man. In the first case, ish Amar Rachmana. It says ki yikach ish isha. V'lo chatzi isha, not to half a man. He says you can't compare. Let me explain what I meant. Hasam. When he's Makalish half the Isha, it is a lebeitre lechazu. What he meant to say is like this: I'm being Makalish half of the Isha, and the other half, well, another man can take the other half. Well, we know that doesn't work. It is a lebeitre lechazu. One woman cannot be married to two men, so the suggestion is impossible. It's unfeasible. So it doesn't work. But you could be mekudesh to half of myself. What I meant to say is that I'm going to marry somebody else together with you. Can a man not marry two women? Minatori he could. And that's what he meant to say. He didn't mean you're married to half of me. It's just an expression. He meant to say like this. I'm leaving room. If I want, I'm just informing you. I may end up marrying somebody else with you. That's all he meant to say. But of course, he's fully committing himself to her. She's totally married to his full being. He just meant to say that, just a way of expressing, I'm going to marry somebody else as well. And that's why it works. Now the kasha is like this. When he says to the isha, half of you is mine, it doesn't work. I understand that it can't stop at 50%. We explained that already. But once he's mekadesh half, automatically it should spread to the entire isha. Remember, kiddushin is like hegdish, right? It should spread to the entire being of the isha, and it should work. Tanya, as we learned by kiddush, by hegdish, a person gets up and declares, "Ragla shalzu oila." Only the leg of my animal should become an oila. Tehei kula oila. Tehei kula oila. So what happens? It spreads throughout the entire animal. Now, according to the opinion that doesn't hold to that, that it stays by the leg, meaning you have to sell the animal, only the leg value it belongs to Hegdish, but the entire animal doesn't attain Hegdish, properties. But that's only Hanamila, it only works, that's only true. If he's Magdish a leg, which the animal's life is not dependent upon, so yeah, the Hegdish is limited to the leg. But let's say he's Magdish the vital organs of the animal. Ava Magdish Dover, Shanashama Tluya Boy. What happens then? It spreads throughout the entire animal. It doesn't stop by the heart. Havakula Oila. So here as well, his Mekadosh half the Isha, which includes vital parts, everything should become Mekudosh. Midami, you can't compare. Hosam Behemo. There it's an animal. So yeah, once you Mekadosh half the animal, everything comes along. Hachadas Acheres. So here, it's not his being, it's not his animal, it's an Isha, it's a person with an independent mind. Das Acheres. So you can't just, manipulate her. You said half is half. So it doesn't work. Holodam, you know what it's comparable to? I'll give you another example of a case where it doesn't spread because there's another person involved. We have a Hegdish situation, a similar case where it doesn't work. Holodam Elulaha. I'll compare it to the following case. You have an animal, but it belongs to two people. Two people are partnering on an animal, right? A jointly owned behema, and Reuben decided to be Magdish his part, Higdish Chetzi. Right? What happens then? It doesn't work, right? At most, it's monetarily Kaddish. 50% is Kaddish monetarily, so eventually you'll sell it, and 50% will go to Hegdish. But you can't be Makriv the carbon right now. So even though, listen to this, even if he goes and convinces his partner to sell him the other 50%, Higdish Chetzia, v'chazar v'lakha, then he purchased the other half, v'higdisha, and he added Hegdish to that part as well. Once it's his, he wants to be Magdish it, doesn't work. Keddusha, there's Kiddush here, ve'ena kreva, but you can't be Magdish it. Because since, at the initial phase of Hegdish, it was not Ro'ifa HaKrava, because he was only Magdish half. So even if he goes ahead and purchases the other half and completes his Hegdish, but it stays at a very low level Hegdish, at a Keddusha's Dama, it's monetarily Kaddish, but never gets upgraded to an actual carbon which could be brought on the Mizbeach. Ve'ina Kreva, Va'isa Tmura, and you can make a Tmura, meaning if, let's say, he chooses to execute the Tmura procedure, which is taking another animal, placing it next to this one, and saying this Kedusha will be, transferred to that one. It does actually affect the other animal. What happens to the other animal? That second animal attains the same status as this animal, which means to say that it's kaddish to a certain extent. It's monetarily kaddish, but it's not brought on the mizbeach. So, bottom line is, what do we see from here? Even though there was a pretty significant portion of this animal which became kaddish, half of it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't spread because there's another person involved. There's a partner that blocks that spread. Likewise, by the Isha. Half the Isha is half the Isha. It doesn't spread to the entire Isha because she's her own person. You can't just manipulate her. Now, once we're on this topic of being Magdish, Behema Shel Shutfin, says the Gemara, Rabbi Yechnan's halacha teaches us some very interesting things. Actually, three things we learn from here. Shema Mino Tlas. We can conclude and derive three halachas. Three chiddushin. Shema Mino, number one, we can learn from here that Baalei Chaim Nidachim. Once the animal is unfit for being brought as a carbon, it's pushed away, such as in this case where he tried to be Magdish, but it didn't really attain that level of Kedusha initially, right? Baalei Chaim Nidachim, it gets pushed away forever. It's sort of tainted forever. So even though he comes back and he, tries to complete the Hegdish after repurchasing that other half, it doesn't work. It's pushed away. Which is a Chiddush, because there's a Shita and Yuma that only parts of an animal, a shechted animal can have dichui, but not a live animal. A live animal can always come back and rejuvenate itself. No, it doesn't work. It's nitcha forever. That's number one. Shmamina, we can learn as well that dichui mi'ikar, even though this tainting, this incompleteness happened initially, meaning it was never suitable as a carbon and then got pushed away. It wasn't suitable to begin with. It sort of slowly worked its way up. It started from 50%, then spread to dicha mi'ikar, an initial unfitness, havedichoi, pushes it away permanently. Shmami. Now we have another chiddush. Yesh dichoi b'damim. Despite the fact that this carbon was never really, fit for the mizbeach, it never really attained that higher level of kedusha. It was only a monetary kedusha. Still, the concept of dicha, being pushed away, becoming disqualified once and forever, applies even in this case of kedushas hadamim, which is all a chiddush. Okay, let's go back to kiddushin of an isha. By Rav. Here comes another presentation by Rav. We know that you can be mekadosh isha with kesef, provided that kesef has the minimum required, value of a pruta, which is the minimum to be considered kesef throughout the entire Torah, right? So less than a pruta does not accomplish kedushin. By Rav. So Rav wants to know chetzich b'chatzi pruta. Tells the isha, look, here, half of you for half a pruta, v'chetzich, and the other half b'chatzi pruta for the other half a pruta. Ma, what would you say in this case? Does it work or not? Shall we say, kivin the amala chatzi pruta, since he split it into two halves, half a pruta and then another half, paska, it separates it. You can't combine the two halves. And, it's like he's been mekadosh half a person at a time. It doesn't work. On the other hand, you could say, well, this is what he had in mind. He was just sort of, highlighting the fact that she's getting so much. Look, half a pruta for half of you, another half a pruta for the other half. Look, I'm giving you a full pruta. But it's really one, act of kiddushin. It's not like he's combining two halves of the isha. It's a full kiddushin, one kiddushin on the full isha. And it works. If we'll take on the, this argument, this angle, that he's just, counting as he's going along, but he really intended on doing one masa kedushin on the full isha, and it works. What about chetzich bepruta? Oh, here it's different. I'll be mekadosh half of you for a pruta, which is a full amount, right? A full shear of kesef. Chetzich bepruta, and the other half of you for the next pruta. Ma, what would you say in this case? Is it separate kinyanim or is it one combined kinyan? No, even the amul pruta. Since he gave her one pruta and then another, Pascal Musa, it's called a separate act. In which case it doesn't work because each pruta was only kind of half the isha. You can't do a kedushin on half. Or shall we say, he intended on completing it on the same day. We should look at it like one continuous counting, one continuous countdown, so to speak, one process. And it works. Intimate slima, perhaps you'll tell me that it works. What about chetzich bepruta hayom? Half of you today for a pruta, v'chetzich bepruta lamachar. Half of you for a pruta tomorrow. Separate days. Mao. What is the halach? Kivud amal lamachar. Since they're separated by days, paska, it's a separate transaction and it doesn't work. Perhaps all he meant to say is kiddushin maschlu me'idna. I'm beginning the process today. But it only completes tomorrow. But it's one continuous process on the full isha as one, and it works. Next question. I'm giving you one pruta for both your halves. Shall we say it works because it was in one swoop, one masa kedushin on the full isha? Or you can say no. As soon as he makes mention of half, you're out the window. It doesn't work. Half and half doesn't work. Teku, all these questions are left unresolved. By Rava, here comes another question. So we have a father who is trying to marry off both his daughters, who are actually ketanus. Okay, so they're underage, and he's now the caretaker, he's in charge, he's the administrator, he's been mekadosh them to his friend's two sons. And his friend happens to be representing his two sons. He's a shliach for them both together. So Shimon, who has two sons who are looking for a shidduch, approaches Reuven, who has two daughters as well, and he says, look, here's one pruta for the whole deal. Both your daughters, for both my sons, but pruta with this one pruta, ma'u doesn't work. So it's one pruta, but it's for two keddushins. He's trying to get a wholesale deal. Shall we say it works? Because after all, the giver and the taker are just one. One person giving, one person taking. It's one masa kinyan. And you have a shava pruta for that masa kinyan. You have a share mamain. Right? The minimal value, which is a pruta. Or bashar dedu aslinan. Shall we say that perhaps we have to focus on the parties involved? On the Ish and the Ish, and we have two couples going on here. Voleka, and you don't have enough for both. Take it, we leave it unresolved. Boy, Rav Papa, here comes Rav Papa with a shayla. Reuben approaches Shimon. He says, look, Bitcha uparascha b'pruta mao. Here's a pruta for two things. Your daughter, I want to be Mekadesher, and I want to buy your cow. Mi amin, shall we say, what he meant to say is, Bitcha b'chatzi pruta. We'll split the pruta into two. Half for the daughter, uparascha b'chatzi pruta, and half for the parah, and it doesn't work. It's too little per transaction. Or bitcha b'pruta. He meant to say, the full pruta for the daughter, because he knows that you can't be mekadesh with less than a pruta. And I'm going to be acquiring the parah through pulling her into my possession without the money. So the money is completely dedicated for the kiddushin, and it's enough because it's a pruta. Take it, we leave it unresolved. But Rav Ashi, another question. He goes over to his friend. Look, I'm going to be mekadesh your daughter and acquire your real estate using a pruta. Shall we say bitcha b'chatzi pruta, v'karka b'chatzi pruta? The pruta split into two, half for the daughter, half for the karka, and it doesn't work. Or bitcha b'pruta. Pruta goes totally for the kiddushin. V'karka b'chazaka, and I'm going to be acquiring the karka through possession through chazaka, and therefore the money is sufficient for the kiddushin. Take it, we leave it unresolved. We have a fellow, Ahu Gavra, a person, the Agdish B'Shiroi. He used some materials, some silks, to be mekadesh and ish. Okay? Now, we never really properly appraised the value of those materials. How much are they worth? Rabba Amar Loi Tzrichi Shuma. Even though there was no appraisal done, it's okay. So if it turns out that it was worth, pruta, you're okay. Rabbi Yosef Amar Tzrichi Shuma, of course, has to be appraised in order to confirm the Kiddush. Now, what exactly happened? What did he tell her? What did he promise her? What was she expecting from him in terms of these materials? Ida Amala B'Chodu. Suppose he told her, look, I don't know how much it's worth, whatever it is. All will agree that it's okay. You don't need an appraisal. There's no need to appraise it, because it's a pruta, it's okay. It's only worth a pruta, right? And he didn't mislead her. He says, look, I'm not sure what it is. Whatever it is taken, she took it. So that's, of course, perfectly fine. On the other hand, if he promised her the moon, he told her it's worth 50, and it turns out it's not worth 50, well, the deal's over. It's not worth 50, it's nothing to talk about. There's no machlekes there as well. So in one case, it's certainly okay, in the other case, certainly not okay. Keep pleading. When do we have this discussion between Rabbi and Rav Yosef? Whether an appraisal is required, in the following case, the Amar Chamshin. He promised her it's worth 50. And in fact, it turns out it was worth 50. But she didn't know it at the time of Kiddushin. At the time, it was unclear. So Rabbi says, look, Rabbi, who cares about the appraisal? It turns out that it's worth 50, as promised. Rabbi Yosef Amar, no. It only works if she knows, with certainty, with confidence, that it's worth 50. And she has to know that at the time of Kiddushin. You must appraise it beforehand. Since, typically a woman is not an expert in appraisals. She doesn't spend time out there in the market, wheeling and dealing. So she's not fully confident. She's not sure that it's really worth 50. And therefore, she's sort of not committing herself to the Kiddushin unless she knows with certainty. There's another version of this discussion. Even in the first case, when he didn't promise her anything, he didn't stipulate its worth. He says, look, take these materials, whatever it is. There as well we have a machlekes. Rabbi Yosef Amar, Shaveh Kesef, Hariyuki Kesef. Rabbi Yosef says, look, even though it's certainly worth something, it's worth a pruta, but you know what? Just like the Iker, Kinyan Kesef, which means using a coin, is done with clarity, with understanding, right? $1 is $1. So Shaveh Kesef, if he chooses to use an item which has value, Shaveh Kesef, which can be used for Kiddushin, but it has to have similar properties as an actual coin. Hariyuki Kesef, Ma Kesef. The kids, just as money is absolute, its value is clear and known to all. Av Shaveh Kesef Namid the kite, likewise. Any item used for Kiddushin has to have that same property, that same clarity. We have to know its value. In order for it to serve as kesef and to accomplish kinyan kesef for Kiddushin. Rabbi Yosef ben Amila. We'll see tomorrow, B'ezras Hashem, how he got to this concept, but that's Rabbi Yosef's shita, which is a chiddush. So unless it's appraised, you cannot use it for kinyan kiddushin kesef. Okay, very interesting daf today. Very, very varied and mechudishtik, right? Rabbi tells us that you can actually be mekadosh an isha without paying a penny, and the isha can submit herself to kedushin without receiving anything, or even a combination of both. It's based on Oriv, on Evet Kanani, or combining the two. It works by Kiddushin, it works by Mekach and Memkar. We explain the Chiddush in each one. We have a case where the Isha can actually give money to her husband and use that for Kiddushin because she's benefiting, she's getting honor, she's feeling satisfaction. The fact that he's accepting that gift, that's like giving her something. And that works for Kiddushin. Being Mekadosh half the Isha doesn't work. And we have many, many cases in Amud Beis, many different possible variations of that halacha. However, you're mekudesh to half of me, that works because he didn't mean literally to half of me. He meant I might marry somebody else in addition. We ended with the discussion about the shiroi, who's mekadesh with these materials, whether or not an appraisal is required for a successful kiddushin. All the best to you and Hatzlacha Rabbah.